Bonjour and welcome. Good morning. I see Sierra here. Wonderful. I'll repeat. I'll start again. My name is Marc-André Tremblay. I am the founder of Young Citizens of the World, Jeunes Citoyens du Monde. To everyone watching today, welcome, bienvenue. We hit the 100,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. Thank you to everyone. We are hoping, I know, and you're here to celebrate with us. And we hope you will subscribe and hit the notification bell and give us a like because today is a very special interview. It's my pleasure to introduce Joyce Di Donato as a transformative presence in the arts. Bonjour, welcome.
Bonjour, buenos dias, buongiorno, hello.
Bonjour.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much. And you are a Kansas-born mezzo-soprano, and you are a multi-Grammy Award winner. You're also an Olivier Award-winning artist. And you have been called the most potent female singer of your generation by the New Yorker. And your voice has been described as 24 karat gold by the Times. So your journey from humble beginnings to global renown exemplifies the power of passion, resilience, and artistry. And I think your love of humans and your love of young people and your love of education. So thank you. And in addition to your illustrious operatic career, you are deeply committed to activism and using music as a tool for healing and connection. You are doing incredible projects with refugees, incarcerated individuals, and new parents. This highlights your mission to bring hope and humanity to those facing challenges. Today, we have questions coming from Canada and the United States. Our first question, if you're ready, is coming from Cloverdale Catholic School in Surrey, British Columbia. And a young student who loves singing is going to sing her question to you. That's special. And her name is Katerina. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Katerina, and I am a member of our student leadership team at CCS. Your journey in music. Tell us about your upbringing and how you came to your current career as a world-renowned opera singer.
When I was your age, I thought I would be a music teacher. I loved singing choir. I can't keep going because you were so good. That was like chant. It was so good, Katerina, brava. Now I got nervous about singing my response. Thank you for that. That's the first sung question I've ever had in my career. But so I told you I went to Catholic school as well. My dad was the church choir director. So every Sunday he would be leading the choir. And when I was your age, I thought maybe one day I'll be in a choir too. And I went to high school, Bishop Miege High School in Kansas City. And it was the place where I felt home. Like I had a good family, but I didn't always feel so great with my family. I wasn't necessarily super athletic. I wasn't super, in the cool group. I found my people in the choir and in the drama school. And I had a great teacher, Mr. Wolf, who really, like singing together, I just kind of thought, I didn't know this was possible to make this kind of sound. I loved singing myself, but being together in a group and being able to sing in harmony, it really changed my life. And it gave me a place to belong and to really put my energy. So I went to college in Wichita, Kansas, and I just thought, I want to do what Mr. Wolf did. I want to be the cool high school teacher. But I got into opera because I loved singing and I loved being on stage. One of the cool things about opera is we deal with the huge extremes of human emotion. It's life and death, it's love and hate, it's revenge and killing and love. And it's just the huge scope of like human emotion and isolation and loneliness, all of that. And I really fell in love with it. And I was stuck when I was about 20 years old because I said to my dad, I really feel like there's a big need to be in the classroom. Like the world needs great teachers, right? A lot. We need that really, really strongly. And I loved being on stage, and that felt kind of selfish, you know? And I asked my dad, I said, I'm not sure what to do. I feel like I should be in the classroom, but I want to be on stage. And he said, Joyce, there's more than one way to teach people. And that has never left me. That advice came to me probably 30 years ago. And I love being on stage. I love singing, but I've always been looking for a way to connect it to people. So not just about me taking a bow and getting flowers and applause. That's fun, but that's not why I do it. And so I seek out these opportunities. And look, I'm in front of all you guys, 100,000 subscribers talking to you. So I kind of felt I followed what was in my heart with my dad's advice, and I trusted the steps along the way and brought me here. Thank you, Katerina, for your question.
Thank you so much, Joyce. Thank you, Cloverdale Catholic School. This is really special for us. Question number 2 is coming from Tierra. And please introduce yourself, Tierra, and your school and where you are.
Hi, it's an honor to be able to ask you a question. And my name is Tierra Glover, and I'm a world language teacher here at Mexico High School in Mexico, New York. And my question is, how has your work with refugee children in Greece through El Sistema changed your view on how music can help people facing difficult challenges in life?
Oh, gracias. That is a very good question. I don't know that it changed my view. I think it amplified it exponentially. I always felt music was really transformative. I always thought it was powerful because it was in my life. It transformed my life. And I'd seen it. But the first time I had the opportunity to go to, it was the Skaramagas camp in Athens, Greece. It was one of the few refugee camps at that time that had any kind of education system. So hundreds and hundreds of family members, young kids and parents, and no education happening, no cultural activities happening, just people being held in a space far from their home. And this camp was one of the good ones that had a lot of great leadership and vision and an investment in people whose lives still have dignity and worth, even if they're titled, in sort of a category far away from the our world. And I had this opportunity to go. And what I realized, in a way, I saw the parents were almost more blocked than the children. There, you would see children with a lot of trauma, but having an outlet through the arts, in particular music, when children who have suffered displacement and trauma and poverty and war is very difficult, and I don't even know how we would expect it, they could articulate what is happening, describe what they've been going through. The music is working at a level to help them express things that they're not even aware of. They're using their breath to sing. And we all know, I hope we all know how important the breath is to connect us and to calm us. It's such a potent tool to sort of get us off the brink of anxiety or nervousness. We can come back to the breath, feel good. They also are able to literally vibrate. So when we sing, we have two little pieces of like gristle, like just two little cartilages here in our throat. And breath passes through our windpipe and makes the gristle go, and we get vibration and we make sound. And so that physical vibration is actually literally shaking things up inside of them in a safe manner, that it is moving things. So the trauma response of being stuck and holding and shutting down is literally kind of shaken open just by the act of singing physically through the breath and through the vibration. And then you're singing with other kids. So all of a sudden that feeling of being completely alone in the world and maybe despairing and not sure where to turn, all of a sudden you've got people by your side that you're making music with. And I've seen it. I'm still in touch with one of the kids I first met. He got placed in Germany and he's studying to be a pilot. And he played violin. He didn't sing in the choir, but he was playing the violin. And he knew it was never going to be a matter of, I'm going to be a professional violinist. That was never his dream. But when he left Athens and left the refugee camp, and he went to Germany, he had a group on the ground in Germany from this orchestra group that he could join right away. So he immediately had a way to make friends. He immediately didn't speak German. He wasn't integrated into that community at all, but through music making, he had a kind of home already. And so the other great thing this camp did is they brought in also local Greek citizens. And so they started integrating kids from Sierra Leone, kids from Iran, kids from Pakistan, kids from Afghanistan with the Greek kids, and they formed a community. It's an amazing blueprint about how to tackle some of the difficult questions around it. And music is such a uniting, powerful tool to help people process difficult moments.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sierra. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you so much. Moving right on, we are moving to our very special friend, Chris Ford, who is an excellent host of many of our interviews, and he's a big part of our program. So here we go, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, bonjour from Saskatoon.
Hello, I'm loving the hats. Hats.
Yeah, hometown of the great songwriter, singer Joni Mitchell, if you're familiar.
I see my life through both clouds.
That's right.
Very cool.
So we just watched a video of yours, Lascia Kiopianga, and I just wanted to say that I think of you have regular nice singers, and then you have this otherworldly, powerful voice, and I'm just so impressed by that, and how that journey must have gone. I've heard a little bit, but amazing. We're talking a little bit about making connection with music and the power of music, and so I was wondering, what is a memorable experience you've had while working with inmates that show how music can break down barriers?
Oh, we have 3 hours, right? I'll try and make a really quick story. So via Carnegie Hall in New York, they do this amazing program where they go into a maximum security facility. So it's, people charged with really strong crimes, serving time there. And they bring music education there, and they teach these men to play instruments or to sing and to write their own music. And the first time I went, there was a group of about 20 guys in the program, and I was a little bit nervous. I'd never been in a prison before. And pretty quickly, it started to just feel like a normal classroom. Like a kid, they were all working on music, and I was helping them with various things. And then we started to work on music that some of them had written for me. But there was one guy that, I remember thinking, he makes me a little uncomfortable. He was big and he was isolated, and he kind of was, looking at the half view of the world and really in a corner by himself. And I thought, he makes me a little bit nervous. He had written a song for me, and we sang it together, and it was about a murder that he had committed. And I didn't know this before we had met. I hadn't seen the music. I was sight reading it in real time, standing next to him. And I realized he was describing this murder that he had committed. And it was very strong lyrics. And I really wasn't sure how to react. But as he got to the third verse, he was talking about, what about all the times that love was looking me in the face and I turned away? He started to have this introspection through this music that he had written about what his part in this was. It wasn't just, I'm angry, the world is against me. It was like, hold on, love looked me in the eyes and I turned away. And then he looked at me and he goes, now it's you. And the part that he had written is, somewhere far out there, but where's a place for us? It was amazing. A week later, I'm back and we're performing this in a concert for the general population of this prison, about 200 guys. And he introduced this piece and said, I want to dedicate this to the victims of my crime. And on that concert, I sang some opera. I sang, a couple arias. And I came back about 10 months later. This was about 8 or 9 years ago, and I try and go back every year if I can. I came back about 10 months later, and he was no longer isolated. He was no longer looking at the world like this. He was the first guy in the room, extended his hand, said, Miss Joyce, I've been waiting for you to come back. I have to tell you, I had no idea what opera was before you came, and now I know I have to write one. And about 2 years later, in one of these concerts again, we sang a duet from his opera called Tabula Rasa, where he was begging for forgiveness for what he had done. Now, maybe he was going to take that journey on his own anyway, but the chance to put it into music and the chance to stand up and perform it. I mean, he was singing opera in front of these guys that, he works out in the yard with, and he has, lunch, and he's incarcerated with these guys. And to stand up and say, I did this and I'm asking for forgiveness, I don't know if that would have been possible without this music. So when I say music is transformative, I mean like at a profound level. And it can also just be, you guys, I'm sure you do this. If you're in a bad mood or you're sad, you put on music and it puts you in a good mood. Or you're really sad about something and you put on something that helps you cry and go, oh, Billie Eilish knows how I feel, or Taylor Swift knows, or whatever, right? It's that it makes us feel that we're not alone, and it gives us courage to feel the things that are hard to feel in life sometimes, or to dance like for the greatest celebration and have so much fun and just laugh and dance and get it out of your system. That's the power of music.
That's extraordinary. That would be enough for like the whole day, but I have another question. And the second one is a little bit dedicated to my little sister, who's a music therapist. And so the question is, in your experience with the Lullaby Project, how is creating lullabies impacting new parents and help them connect with their babies?
Amazing. This is another project that Carnegie Hall does through their music institute, the Wild Music Institute. This started with single teenage moms who got pregnant and were looking at having a newborn child under probably pretty difficult circumstances, maybe a family that wasn't supportive, probably, having economic issues. How do I stay in school? There are a lot of difficulties around that situation. And they saw this need because it was difficult for the mom who was under so much pressure to bond with her child, which is a really fundamental thing for a newborn and for a mom. And they had this idea to bring the mom and the newborn baby in and help the mom write a lullaby to her child. And what they noticed was huge growth in the self-esteem of the mom, who might have been feeling shame or embarrassment or difficulty in her situation. She would write a very specific, heartfelt lyric, and she'd have somebody there to help her write the music, and then they would record it, and they had a personalized lullaby for the child. I've sung a few of them. They're amazing. I'm wishing you peace tonight. And it can also be super transformative in their lives, because there's something really concrete that is shared between the mom and the child, that the mom created, that the mom wrote. And then that child grows up saying, "Sing me my song." That child feels tethered, connected to the world, to his mom or her mom in a really beautiful way. And so it's transformative as well. I have a question. Can I ask Katarina, if you don't mind? You don't have to sing your answer, but I want to know what you love about singing.
I love singing because I know that it's a safe space for me, and like if I'm going through struggles in my life at the moment, I can sing it. It'll make me feel better.
I would also bet that singing, have you sung solo, or are you in choir?
I've sung a solo, yeah.
Yeah. I do not think it's an accident that you're also on your leadership council. Because when you sing or play and you have to stand up and perform, I mean, that brings you a kind of confidence that if you only ever sit like in the back of the classroom and you don't have that chance to stand up and use your voice, it's harder. It's a little bit more nerve-wracking. I'm sure some of you guys feel that as well. But getting up and literally practicing to use your voice in a safe space and to be supportive, it helps you become a leader, which then, you can take that, Katerina, you can take that, you can be a CEO, you can be president, you can be prime minister, that it's teaching us also how to stand up and use our voices in effective, important ways. Yeah.
Thank you, both of you. Thank you, Chris. And my student Daniel would like to close with our last question.
Are there any new projects or initiatives you're excited about that we can support?
Yes. And now I'm thinking, is there a concert hall in Saskatchewan? Wait, I've never sung there. I've sung in Vancouver, British Columbia. I am in the process of learning a new work, and it's based on the poetry of Emily Dickinson. And here's why I love this project. It's going to be like a full concert, 24 of her poems, and it will be me and a group called Time for Three. You guys should check them out. They should do this as well. They're amazing. It's 2 violins and a double bass player. And they are classically trained, but they play in a lot of different styles. They're great guys. And it's a new work by a composer called Kevin Putz. He won a Pulitzer Prize. So there's a lot of cool people involved in this. Here's what I love about the poetry of Emily Dickinson. Do you guys know her? Okay. So, American poet. She lived in Elmhurst, Massachusetts in the late 19th century, and she was a recluse. So she kind of lived a sort of a normal life, and then in her late teens, she was an introvert, basically. And she's introverted and went further and further into her room to the point where she almost never came out. And she was a poet at a time when women were not really encouraged to be poets. Or if the woman wanted to write a poem, it had to be about flowers and gardens and nature, but not about things like life and death and passion and pondering, is there a God or is there not a God? And what does the world look like? And she wrote about those things. But in her lifetime, she only published 10 poems. And when she died pretty young, her maid found like almost 2,000 poems bundled up at the foot of her bed that were never published. And so here's how you can help. So I love this. What I love about this project is she was writing, creating for her own self, not going on TikTok, not looking for viral videos, not saying, how can I do what everybody else is doing so that I can get likes, or, you know, what you get on TikTok, people will share my video. She was just doing it to figure out her own life in the privacy of her own astonishing imagination. I mean, she wrote about like death as if it was like a horse coming to carry her away. She wrote about the infinity of the stars. She talked about just so many different things. And so what I'm curious about with this project is to see if we can't start encouraging people to create, not to put it online, but just to like figure out, express who they are to themselves, first of all, before taking it out into the world. I think it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Joyce, on behalf of young citizens of the world, we are so touched and inspired by your advocacy and your humanity and your heart and your language skills and your music and your voice. Thank you for blessing us today. We hope that we can use our platform for more meaningful change, and we can support you in any way that we can. And we hope we can stay in touch with you. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. You've given me a beautiful infusion of hope, and I feel very privileged to get to talk to all you guys today. So thanks very much. If you ever have any other questions, just drop me a line and I'll answer it along the way.
Absolutely. Everyone, please say goodbye.
Merci beaucoup.
Je vous en prie.